Everyone keeps commenting, wanting me to talk about the Black Clover movie, so I'll give you my thoughts. Does this very preview image actually give us the proof we need to determine when the Black Clover movie will take place? And yeah, it does give us a lot of information, just this image. It also confirms that the Black Clover movie will not be a movie that covers a manga arc, similar to the Mugen Train arc and Demon Slayer. No, this preview image actually tells us these things, but it can be kinda hard to determine. I will let you gaze at this image for a few seconds to see if you can spot the clue hidden in this image. Good job everybody. You noticed Petrov in the background. This means this movie will revolve around his backstory. I cannot wait to see the origin story for the strongest mage in Black Clover. Okay, nah. Real ones noticed that in the promotion image for the Black Clover movie, Asta has no devil arm. This confirms that the movie will not cover the raid on the Spade Kingdom arc, because in that arc, Asta has a devil arm. So that means that the movie will not be adapting the anime arc because of that promotional image. Honestly, I was never really on the movie adapting a manga arc. The Attack on Spade arc is currently 43 chapters and still going. The Mugen Train movie was 2 hours long and only covered a 16-chapter arc in the Demon Slayer manga. Even if the Black Clover movie were stretched to 3 hours, it could only feasibly cover about 24 to 30 chapters of that arc, so it's just not going to cover even close to most of it, let alone maybe not even half of it, depending on how long this arc will go on for. So there's just no way that this is what the plan is or was, and thankfully Asta not having his devil arm in the image debunks that as a possibility. What this means is that this movie must take place before Asta's devil bargain with Liebe. Now, this very likely means that it will take place at some point during the 6-month time skip. It is possible that it takes place before Dante attacks the Black Bulls, and after Asta attacks the Spade base. But it seems so little time has passed between these events that I really doubt that it'll take place after the time skip. It would be far easier and make far more sense to fit a story at the end of the 6-month time skip. And his outfit would show that it'd be towards the end of the time skip, because if you look at his outfit towards the end of the time skip, it states in this episode description that this episode takes place a few months after they started training in the Heart Kingdom, and Asta still has his original outfit, whereas the promotional image shows his post-time skip outfit, so this has to be near the end of the time skip based on his outfit. And so, Asta and company might have to leave the kingdom for some sort of mission that is relevant to the plot of the movie, or the conflict could take place in the Heart Kingdom, or any of the other kingdoms, because the enemy comes to them, or they find a hidden enemy that dwells within the Heart Kingdom, or any other kingdom that's on the continent that's probably besides the Spade Kingdom. Before we go over these possibilities, I want to talk about one of the fan favorite theories about where the Black Clover movie takes place, and that theory is the Land of the Sun. This is Yami's homeland. This theory is because Asta's body is facing a very, very bright sun, and I want to admit that there are some pros and cons if the movie does go there. The pros are that this is what the fans have wanted for a long time. It would be refreshing, and since it is off-continent, you can introduce brand new types of magic and abilities, as well as extensions of ki, without directly affecting the continent where Black Clover primarily takes place. This would probably be pretty cool, and to see this Western fantasy series take a more Eastern approach would be refreshing, but it might be a bit jarring. This would mean that in the 74 chapters so far, since the time skip has ended, there's been absolutely no mention by anyone or any events from that movie that has happened of the Land of the Sun. No references or even thoughts to themselves, which means that the trip to the Land of the Sun wouldn't really be that important to the story proper, which I think that if there is to be a Land of the Sun arc, it would need to be its own arc in the manga that Tabata gets to properly work on and flesh out himself in a series of at least a few dozen chapters. I want the Land of the Sun arc to be very important. It's gotta be important. Remember, ki derives from the Land of the Sun. Also, we know that they have to be at least somewhat like swordsmen because Yami has katanas and stuff like that, and Asta could learn a lot from going to the Land of the Sun, get really cool villains, and just one movie, one 2-hour movie, is not enough to fully show the Land of the Sun. It needs an entire arc. Ki will probably be expanded upon. Asta's swords and his swordsmanship will be expanded on, and we'll get introduced to new characters and new villains, new types of villains, so I think that is why it needs to be its own arc, not in a 2-hour movie. For reference, the My Hero Academia movies, while they were somewhat important, are certainly far lesser important than its actual manga arcs, and I don't want that to be the case for The Land of the Sun and Black Clover. This would inherently make The Land of the Sun far lesser if it were in movie format rather than manga format. I think what would be much better is if someone from The Land of the Sun actually goes to the continent of the Clover Kingdom and the movie revolves around them as the antagonists. And I believe that what could be even better is the movie possibly revolving around this member of the 8 Shining Generals that has been quite the mysterious figure for years within the community. It would be cool to finally reveal him in a film. It would also allow for even more build-up for Morris as a villain. This would be something that could parallel the first My Hero Academia movie, where the villain was tied to All for One. Now, I already know that some people will scoff at this idea, that this mysterious Shining General will just be a movie villain. But, people, you gotta remember here, they were hyped for this Shining General, who is still unnamed, just for him to get jobbered twice anyways, and it's been like 230 chapters since he's been introduced, just because cool characters are introduced doesn't not mean they have to be super important, and just because he's in a movie does not mean he won't be super important. And while there is some evidence that this Diamond General is still alive, as this might be his figure in chapter 273 of the manga, it does not mean that he cannot be in this movie. He could just have survived the events of the film, and this could make his entrance or reveal in the manga even better. It could also be similar to 9 from My Hero Academia, who was teased as a cameo in chapter 222 of My Hero Academia. I think that Tabata will reveal this villain as the user of the Earth Spirit. Most of these Shining Generals have powers that are nature-based, and 2 of them had Earth-based ones, Mars' mineral magic and Brock's red clay magic. I think this will be the ultimate reveal of the Earth Spirit. It would be great marketing for fans to go get into watch the movie, and then in the manga, if anyone interacts with this general, they could have a flashback panel or a flashback quote that references the events of the Black Clover movie. You might say it's contradictory to bring up the importance of the Land of the Sun and then say that they should include the Earth Spirit, but I think that the Earth Spirit is far less important than the Land of the Sun. Spirits are only as important as the characters they are tied to. Wind is attached to Yuno, the deuteragonist of the series, so the Wind Spirit is kind of important. It mainly does just act as a channel for Yuno's power. When it comes to the lore of the series, there really isn't much there. Maybe the Wind Spirit belonged to Tetia, but that's just a fan theory that is unconfirmed yet. The Water Spirit is actually pretty important, because she was the guardian of an entire kingdom, and is now with the love interest of the main character of the series, Noelle. And it allowed Noelle to get Saint Stage to kill devils, so the Water Spirit is inherently important to the plot. But the Fire Spirit Salamander, not really important whatsoever. Yet. So, just because it's the Earth Spirit does not mean it has to be super important yet. It could just be revealed and then showed more later on in the series. I believe that this would be a good way to bring manga readers and anime-onlys to the movie, having it take place before the events of the manga, but introduce characters that are led by incredibly important characters that are important right now in the manga to entice them to read ahead in the manga and buy more manga volumes, but also go see the movie. You have this 8 Shining General show preposterous power against the Heart Kingdom with the Earth Spirit, and then, when he is shown in the manga, he not only has gotten stronger, likely through Morris' sorcery science, but maybe even he is now contracted with a devil. Either a lesser Cliff-Off devil, or some mid-ranking or high-ranking devils. It really only makes sense. It really only makes the most sense for a Diamond Kingdom mage to possess the Earth Spirit, because it's a land of minerals and mining. All the more important is that this movie acts as more build-up for Morris, who I am incredibly excited to see more of in the Black Clover world, who could possibly be the most important villain of the series, or even the Aizen of the series. Also, as for a release date, I really don't know. I've seen a lot of contradicting tweets of people claiming they have sources and stuff like that. James Hansen, who is a pretty credible source and has leaked a lot of stuff about Bleach that have been very accurate, states that Black Clover fans should not stress about not having a movie preview yet. It's only been on production a few months ago, maybe earlier, so a preview would be premature. So, it's been in productions for a few months, and I have seen extrapolations from people saying this, that it could be that at the earliest would be April of 2022, or the summer of 2022, so if anybody who hoped for this movie to come out this year of 2021, yeah, that's just not happening. 2021 only has 4 more months, and there's no trailer, so I just don't think it's coming out this year. Like I said, if it came out in March or April of 2022, that'd be nearly a year after the anime ended, and then if it came out this summer, that would be probably a decent spot, and I would love to go see the summer of 2022 a Black Clover movie. That means it's possible that I could go see Black Clover on my birthday, since my birthday is in July. So guys, yes, because of Asta's devil arm not being in the preview image, it means it cannot be an adaptation of the Spade Assault arc. It means that it has to take place before the Devil's Bargain with Liba. And while I do think it could be a Land of the Sun movie, I think that that's just too important to be just a movie and not an actual arc in the manga. Whereas you could have essentially a Diamond General be introduced and build up Morris more. But anyways guys, with that being said, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe, turn on notifications, plus